Good morning, David Kern here with the CBS AM Debrief for Thursday the 3rd of the 3rd month of March, just on 8:30 here. Overnight market action saw the Dow really in a pretty choppy session, up and down quite significantly at one stage there, with the presence of rising crude prices putting a dampener on things. The crude was actually up about $2. Ultimately, though, the numbers that played out were weekly unemployment or employment numbers. So we saw a figure of 217,000 rather than 185,000 that was expected, and the previous was 189. So that was pretty encouraging. Although, as I said, those crude increases are of course for concern. And saw this session here on the Dow ending up just 8.78 points, or 0.07%. The rest of the numbers were the S&P 500 up slightly more, 0.16, and the Nasdaq up still 0.39. The rest of the Americas were largely up as well. And then through to Europe, pretty much consistently down, apart from Milan just ever so slightly up. Spain down, looks like most of all here, 1.1, apart from Stockholm. To our region yesterday, we saw our market close down 23 points. Hang Seng, a pretty big move there, down 347, and the Nikkei down most of all 261 points to nearly 2.5% there, so a big move there. Futures for our region suggest a bit of an up day here today, and Nikkei are putting a little bit of recovery here. Hang Seng down a further 440 points. So fairly volatile markets at the moment, so probably best to view things that way. And then over to our commodity space, as mentioned, crude up to 202 and a third. It's up just under 2.75%. And natural gas 3.82 seems to be putting a little bit of consolidation here. We do often see natural gas tend to come off somewhat because, or rather, when crude moves up, we sometimes see natural gas come off because we see crude is perhaps crimping economic growth and therefore reducing the demand for other commodities and energy sources. If you subscribe to that thinking. Moving on into our sops and grains and so on. I won't go through all of these, but you can see those here, but looks like we had corn down 1.9, lumber down 1.2, wheat down just 0.22, and rough rice down 1.09. Other standouts in the rises were sugar, now at 30 cents a pound. Cotton, another big move up, 3.62, and soybean up 2.08, soybean oil it is. Copper at 4.49 and a quarter, just down slightly. Gold putting a little bit more space on here, up to 14.34 and 80 cents, and silver up again here, 34.64. Take a look at our currency pairs, with the euro buying 1.3867 US dollars, the pound buying 1.6326, and the US dollar buying 81.8945 yen. Aussies buying 1.0166 USD, and US dollars buying 0.9726 Canadian and 0.9238 Swiss francs. Okay, let's have a look at the rest of the economic calendar for today. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, so as mentioned, we've had that jobs data out, pretty positive. We've got our trade balance numbers out today. The last figures were 1.9 billion. Then we've got some retail sales out of Switzerland, then some Eurozone purchasing managers, index services data, GDP data for the Eurozone, expecting a 2 there, pretty much in line with the previous. Right through to the EU Central Bank rates decision, expected to stay at 1%. Then of course, just going into tomorrow night, we've got the, being the first Friday of the month, we've got the all-important non-farms payrolls numbers coming out there, and expecting a figure of about $183,000. Right. Moving on, let's take a look at the Falcon Trader here. Just follow up on a couple of those little gold stocks I know I was talking about 2 days ago. One was Medusa, which just continuing to move sideways here a little bit, but still like this one. Around $7 I think is reasonably good buying. It looks reasonably well supported here at this point. And we would actually prefer to see a confirmation though, just looking at this here this morning, that we're seeing an upswing. So yeah, I only really want to buy that as it's moving up, not it's moving down. The other thing that we mentioned was St. Barbara, which let's bring up here. Okay, so yeah, on Tuesday I was talking about how this was going into this sort of pennant formation. Happy to say that had quite a strong move yesterday. I think it was up something like 5%, so broke out to the north side here, and I think that partly helped along by the fact that gold's broken to new highs, so that's put a little bit of a fire under it. I also understand from someone I was speaking to that there's been a fair bit of chatter about the stock on the website Hot Copper. So I'm pretty happy with that one. Probably like to start looking at some of the oil juniors, and I'm going to try and do some work between now and Tuesday for my next AM debrief. But I think I was going to say leave it there, but just quickly look through some of these other instruments here, just to see if anything's standing out. No, I think we'll leave it at that. So thanks as always for your attention. Bye for now.